Hey folks, this is Brian and I'm here to talk about my 2014 Santa Cruz Bantam. I bought the D build out, which is their cheapest build option. The bike came out with the initial 650B offerings from Santa Cruz. The Bantam has the same geometry as the 5010, just with a single pivot instead of the VPP suspension found in all the current full suspension bikes from Santa Cruz. I initially chose this bike because it was a budget-friendly full suspension bike with a RockShox sector fork and a Fox CTD shock. Neither is stellar, but they make this bike a lot more appealing than a low-end Giant or Specialized. Plus, I knew I could trust the quality of the Santa Cruz brand when it came to building bikes that can take a beating. The bike was built out as a 3x10 drivetrain, which I almost immediately switched out the chain rings for a narrow wide 32 tooth cog. This dropped a couple pounds off the bike and really improved the climbing capabilities. I'm using the ODI Troy Lee design lock-on grips. I prefer to have lock-on grips because they never move on you and the end caps don't fall out. The Santa Cruz slip-on grips the bike came with slipped all the time and they just pretty much performed like crap. And I always kept losing the end caps. I've found the WTB Volt race saddle to be just fine, so I've kept it on the bike. The bike came with the Maxxis Ardent tires in front and back. I didn't care for the Ardent as a front tire and replaced it with a High Roller 2. I found I lost traction in corners with the Ardents, and the High Roller 2 solved that problem for me. I recently threw a Minion DHF on the back for some late season riding and have been really impressed. The bigger knobs have actually helped me ride a little faster. The next change I made to the bike was to replace the Avid brakes with a set of XT Dior brakes. I really didn't like the feel of the Avid brakes, and after taking them in for a third time to get bled, the shop just suggested swapping them out with some Shimano brakes. I've been happy with the XT brakes so far. My most recent change to the bike has been to swap out the 70mm stem for a 60mm stem. This may seem like a minor change, but it really helped me with comfort on the bike and improved the snappiness of the bike. I'm 6'1", so I was right on the edge between a large and an extra large frame. I've ridden an extra large before and felt too stretched out on them. The large was a nice fit, but still made me feel like it wasn't just right. Swapping out the stem made me really happy with the bike fit. I've ridden this bike as my primary trail bike for the past 3 seasons and really love this bike. It is a nimble little trail bike that is perfect for the trails I ride in Minnesota. We have twisty single track with punchy climbs and short descents. This bike eats that stuff up. The 5 inches of travel is more than enough for riding the chunky stuff here. The Bantam is a fun, playful bike that is really well suited for those of us who prefer a trail bike over an XC bike. It's too bad Santa Cruz pulled the plug on the Bantam, but now the low-end aluminum 5010 is almost the same price as I paid for this bike. In closing, you could have done a lot worse when buying a low-end full suspension bike than the Bantam. For me, it was the right combination of SRAM and Shimano parts to allow Santa Cruz to have a full suspension bike at a price I could afford. Well, thanks for watching. Feel free to ask any questions about the bike in the comments. I'll see you around. Thanks.